Hello, good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to everyone to the another edition of MGA Dialogue Series. It's exactly 3 o'clock, and we are starting our webinar series. We are delighted to have you join us this afternoon, and on behalf of MGA Consulting Ghana Limited, thank you for consistently making time to learn and grow with us. The MGA Dialogue Series continue to serve as a very practical and learning platform where we address workplace challenges and also share expert insight for sustained performance. I am Albert Tabisu, the Head of Marketing and Communication at MGA Consulting Ghana Limited, and I'll be your moderator for today. Our focus this afternoon is building a workforce that can deliver today and survive tomorrow. Building a workforce that can deliver today and survive tomorrow. In today's environment, business environment, we have organizations who are under pressure for people who are not performing that they have employed, but also we need people who are resilient and adaptable, and then that can move on into the future and be competitive and be future ready for the workforce we have now. So this conversation is very important at this moment so that each and everyone will be prepared and also strategically positioned for the future. Moving on, I would like to introduce to you, as usual, MGA Consulting Ghana Limited. It is the organization behind this impactful dialogue every month. So I'll tell you, MGA Consulting Ghana Limited, we are the fastest growing indigenous management consulting firm in Ghana, and we focus on delivering measurable results. All organizations that have worked with us will attest to the fact that we only deliver the best results when it comes to our work. I'll introduce to you some of our services. It includes capacity building. You can see some of our trainings on your screens, and we have an Excel training coming up and relationship selling training coming up. So you would want to visit our sites and then register for our trainings. We have HR planning also coming up and HR analytics coming up. All these are under our capacity building and training programs. We also have research and business development where we provide insights that informs smart decisions. We also have HR solutions where we support organizations with effective people management. And over the years, you may ask, which are the people that we've been working with? We've been working with a lot of banks, a lot of insurance companies, FMCG, and development partners. So when you are within this space, then MGA is the right place for you. Before we proceed, I'd love you to introduce yourself in our chat box, share your name with us, where you are joining us from, and your organization, and what also you are hoping to learn today. So let's get interactive in our chat box and let's hear from you. At this point, I will be introducing our moderator, our host to you. And then today we have a special person, and he's a highly accomplished sales and marketing customer experience leader with over 15 years of progressive experience in marketing intelligence, business development, and strategic marketing operations in Ghana. He currently serves as the head of sales and marketing and consumer experience at MGA Consulting Ghana Limited, where he leads growth strategy, customer engagement, and brand positioning initiatives to strengthen market presence and enhance client value. Prior to his role at MGA Consulting, he was the marketing and sales outsourcing, and he held senior leadership position, including Director of Marketing and Operations at Welltec Fluid Africa and Market Intelligence and Business Development Lead at Ideal Trade Ghana Limited. He has an MBA from Methodist University College Ghana, a professional diploma in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and he has a BSc in biochemistry from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Mr. Clarence Kofi.
Thank you
Mr.
very
Kofi, you're
much,
welcome to
Alberta,
NGNBC.
for this introduction, and welcome once again to everyone that is joining us this afternoon. I am excited because of the topic that we are going to be dealing with.
We hope that we are going to have a good
let me
conversation
you once
with
again.
you and our guest. So thank you for joining us today. We are very grateful.
Hello, Alberta.
Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. So I'd like to take over from Alberta and welcome Gifty once again. Gifty, thank you for joining and then accepting to take us through this afternoon's webinar series. I'm excited, like I said earlier, and because of time, I would have wished that we talk more, but then I would wish that you give us your general overview or general, idea on the topic at hand, building workforce that can deliver and survive tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much, Clarice, and the MGA team. And then good evening, good afternoon, good morning to us or wherever you are. I think the subject matter is very important. Building a workforce that can deliver today and survive tomorrow simply means that we are creating a team of employees with the skills and adaptability to perform effectively in their current tasks and meet their present business needs, and also be able to evolve and thrive in challenges. So we look at technological changes that are coming, and then the market trends, market shifts in the system. In short, or in practice, this subject involves investing in continuous learning. It's not an easy thing, building a workforce to survive tomorrow. It's an investment the company would have to really put in place. So investing in continuous learning, blending the technical know-how with soft skills, and fostering innovation to keep the workforce relevant and resilient in today's workforce and then in tomorrow. So briefly, this is what I will speak about with the subject matter. Thank you, Clarice.
Thank you so much, Gifty. So I'd like to start with a very first question, and it goes, how can an organization identify the critical skills needed today whilst anticipating future skill requirements?
Okay, so in my view, I would say that first of all, we need to conduct a current job analysis. In there, we are able to map our present gaps and then essential competences needed. So if you are able to conduct this job analysis through our performance reviews and all the competency surveys, we are able to know what the gap is or deficit is, and we can bridge the gap. We can also look at industry trends. What is currently trending in the industry? We also know that AI is in place now. Everybody is talking about AI. What is happening? So we look at what is trending in the industry, be it technology, regulation, what is the new regulation of whatever trend there is in the system, what are the market shifts? So in our marketing organization or market brands company, what is the current trend happening? In technology, what is the current trend happening? Then we'll be able to focus the future skills needed for that. The other thing we can also look at is to conduct, I would say, employee and then manager surveys. Sometimes when we are doing this analysis, it is just not us, the company. We should involve the employees. So we conduct employee and manager surveys. We ask employees and the managers about their current skills and what they need to help them succeed in the role they are in now and in the future anticipation of what we want as well.
Mhm. Wow, this is getting really interesting, and I'll urge my colleague HR managers who are on to take some notes, because just these 2 pointers are already getting me so excited here. Just for those who are joining us, I just want to chip in. We are streaming live on our YouTube, Facebook, and then LinkedIn channels. You can put in your questions and we'll do our best to answer all, if not some of them. So, Gifty, let me come back to you. Now, let me read this. According to the World Economic Forum, that's Future of Jobs Report 2023, 44% of worker skills will be disrupted within 5 years. What systems do you think organizations can put in place to continuously assess and close this skill gap that we are talking about?
Okay, thank you, Clarice. So I think the first thing we need to do is to establish a continuous skill assessment cycle. Here, we can look at having regular surveys, we can look at competency tests, we can look at our performance reviews. That is the first point. The other point I will look at is to deploy some learning analytics to track our skill development and predict the gaps we currently have. Here, I mean, we should use data. Data is very important. So everybody talks about data analytics and all that. We should have data on these things. So we use data and analytics tool to track how employees are developing their new skills. And then we are able to predict where there might be gaps which might emerge, and then we can bridge that gap to help us for the future. The other thing I will talk about is being able to align talent development with our strategic business objectives through agile curriculum design and then some certification pathways. So whatever we are doing, we shouldn't forget that if we are developing talent, then we should gear towards the strategic objective of the business, not to just develop talent in any way, but then it should be geared towards the business objective, the strategic business objective, because at the end of the day, we are working towards a goal. If not, we sway. And then it will help us because these things do involve a lot of investment. So if you are not being strategic enough with our talent development, it's going to really affect us. We just develop talent and then that will be it. We are not closing the gap for the future. But then we should be able to align the talent development to our strategic business objective as well. Then we should encourage continuous learning and upskilling. We should provide resources like online courses. Now you don't have to be moving anywhere. The internet has come to help us. We have online courses, we have online trainings. It's not always in person now. So we should be able to encourage continuous learning with our employees. There are courses on LinkedIn, Coursera, MGA, you're having your trainings. It's not always on in person. So we should also encourage continuous learning for our team. Clarus, are you there? We lost you.
Hi, Regina, are you there? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I think we have lost Clara's
Clara's, sure.
along the line. Yes. So you were
Okay.
talking about trainings. So there
Yes.
are some organizations that are not training their staff. What do you have to say to them? Are they in safe hands?
Training is very important. I think we all need to sharpen our skills. So if you're an organization and you don't train your people, with time you'll be obsolete, honestly. Your people will not grow because training helps us to grow and develop well. It helps to bring innovation in the organization as well. So if you are here, an organization, you are an employer here, and you feel it's too expensive to train your people, or some even think that when you train, they will leave. So why should you train? I would say then train. Train. What if you train and they remain? So better just take the risks and train. Training is very important because day in and day out, things are coming up, there are developments coming up. You need to sharpen your skills on that path. So training is very important, I would say. It's very, very important.
I can see Clara is back online, so
Yeah.
smoothly hand over to him to take over again.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Alberta. And let me apologize. We had a little hitch here in terms of the network. But Gifty, thank you so much. Let me take this other question. How can organizations balance hiring new talent versus reskilling existing employees?
Okay, thank you. So I would say in every project that you want to undertake, you should first do your cost benefit analysis. It is very important. So take the two. To recruit, to upskill, what are the best, the cost benefit analysis for recruiting and upskilling? And then consider the time to productivity and the culture fit. If you are recruiting, somebody is coming in fresh, what is the time to productivity? Will the person be able to adjust to the system, the culture fit? Will the person be able to fit in easily? If you're upscaling, the person is already in the system. What will be the benefits to the organization? So first, I would encourage you to perform a cost benefit analysis, and then you can draw your own conclusion. And the other thing I'll speak on is to identify critical skills that are hard to find on the market. So if a skill is scarce, it might be better to reskill existing employees because if you keep waiting and waiting and waiting to be able to get that particular skill that is needed and you're not getting, it means that time is of the essence and then you just be losing on. So better you would have to, if there are any skills that are in scarce, you have to reskill your existing employees. I would say investing in reskilling existing employees for the skills that are transferable. So if an employee has a strong foundation in one area, they might be able to learn new skill quickly. So you just switch the person to, or if somebody is so strong in a particular area, the person can also transfer the knowledge to another person. So that is another area I will look at. So in this, I think you can use both combination of the hiring and reskilling to meet business needs, but then you should consider which option best suits the business. So after your analysis and what I've said, just sit down and do your own analysis. Whichever one best suits the organization, you can go in for.
Thank you very much. And viewers, please do not forget, we still need your questions and we will do our best. Gifty is here. Gifty, I use Gifty for you. Yes, she's also Gifty.
Honestly, it's Regina
Gifty.
I prefer Regina.
Yes, I keep calling you Gifty. Yes, exactly. And she's here to help us answer most of these questions that that come up when it comes to HR. You know, when you enter any organization, there are some people that we look up to, and then we think they are enemies. And these are the HR managers. When they want to whip us into line, we complain. When we do the right things, they praise us. But if you do the wrong thing and they talk about it, then you become an enemy. But Gifty here is going to help us this afternoon to, help us through the questions that we are bringing. I'm sure by the end of this webinar series, we will change some perceptions that we already had before they started. So, Gifty, when it comes to driving performance and accountability,
Okay.
let me read this, or let me quote this. So Gallup Research 2023 shows that employees whose goals are aligned with organizational goals are 3.5 times more likely to be engaged. How can leaders ensure individual employee goals are aligned with organizational objectives? Let me take it again. Gallup Research 2023 shows that employees whose goals are aligned with organizational goals are 3.5 times more likely to be engaged. How can leaders, therefore, ensure that the individual employee goals are aligned with the organizational objectives?
Okay. So I think leaders can ensure individual goals, individual employee goals are aligned with the organization by first we have to set clear and measurable goals. Sometimes we don't set clear goals, and sometimes the goals we are setting are not aligned with what the company-wide objective is or the goal is. So it's not really aligned. So first we have to set clear, measurable goals. The goals should be clear enough and it should be measurable. It's something that we can measure because somebody is going to work and we should be able to measure whatever performance the person is. Then once we're able to set the goals and set the KPIs or KRA and OKRs that comes with it, we should have a regular review to track progress. Okay, we just don't set the goals and then leave it like that. We should be able to review the progress. This is where we hold check-ins to review progress and adjust goals needed. So once you set with the person, from time to time, probably monthly, if you set some targets for someone, monthly you should be able to track performance. Is the person performing? Is the person achieving whatever objective you have set for him or her? If not, what can you do? I always say that these things, the boss should not sit there and then just to take a decision, but you should sit with the employee, and then set these clear goals and make sure that it is attainable and that we are reviewing if it's month on month, week on week, quarterly, half yearly. You should be able to track. I would prefer you do the tracking probably monthly so that if it's not going well, you don't wait till the end of the year for you to performance review before you assess the person. No, you should be able to review regularly. And if there's something that is not going on well, or you need to adjust the goal, or even if it is not too clear for the individual, you'll be able to, adjust and then fine-tune whatever it is. Also provide feedback on performance, and then you should coach as well. Okay, as a leader, you just don't sit, but when there's something going wrong, you should be able to call the person, provide feedback. Oh, you are doing well, Claros. I think this is the place you have hitches. You should work on that. Whatever support I, the leader, need to give you, I need to coach you. That's why I'm a leader. I need to coach you. I'm just there to direct you so that you'll be able to achieve your goal. Because if you drift, it goes against me. I always tell people that if we set the big strategic direction of the business, and then we go down to the least person, whatever happens down, it triggers up. So if your team does not achieve whatever it is, you too will not be able to achieve your objective. And at the end of the day, we all suffer. So you as a leader should be able to provide feedback and then coach your team members to be able to achieve the set objective for the business.
Thank you, Gifty. So just a recap. This is what I was able to put down. You said that you have to set clear objectives or goals. Then you have to also track performance. You have to review regularly. you have
Progress.
to provide
Provide
feedback,
feedback. Yeah.
and then you need to also coach. Or did I leave something out?
No, that is it.
Okay. Okay. So viewers, if you didn't take note, let me repeat this. For the HR managers, you'd have to set clear goals. You would have to track performance. You have to review regularly, provide feedback, and then the fifth point is to coach as an HR manager. So let me follow up with this.
Claros, before
Yes.
you go ahead, not only for
Mhm.
HR managers, HR, we don't
Okay.
only, it is all for leaders and for
Okay.
managers. If you manage
Mhm.
a team, this is for you. So it's not only for HR managers. We don't do the assessment only. We do for our team. The other departments will do for their team. So it's for all leaders
Awesome.
or managers. These are the things you
Awesome.
need to do.
Awesome. 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 Thank you so much. So let me follow up with this. What role does feedback, since you mentioned feedback in your fourth point, what role does feedback play in improving performance and productivity?
Feedbacks are very crucial. It plays very crucial when it comes to productivity and performance because identifying areas for improvement. Once you are giving regular feedback, it helps employees to understand where they need to improve. If you don't give feedback, I at the back end would assume everything is all right and performing well. But if you're able to step in to give me the feedback on how I am performing, it helps me understand that, oh, so I thought I was doing so well, not knowing I was just drifting off the target. So feedback is very important. Also, feedback reinforces positive behaviors. That drives success. So once you are giving the feedback, oh, okay, thank you, sir, well noted. I appreciate the effort. I'm going to change. I'm going to make sure that the target is reached. Thank you so much for drawing my attention. Then I work on being successful on whatever I need to do. Then feedback again comes in when we encourage employees to learn and grow. Okay, we encourage continuous learning. So sometimes when we do our appraisal or we do our gap analysis, we say we need to train this person, we need to train this person on this. We have identified this gap, we need to train this person. So feedback is very good to encourage employees to learn and then grow through continuous learning.
Okay, that is awesome. In your line, as in with these years of experience as an HR professional, how do the employees take feedback?
So I would say that feedback, individual differences. So the approaches might be different. There are some people who will not easily take feedback because they feel whatever they are doing is the best. So their approach will be different. But there are some people who are so assertive and they understand, they are willing to learn and grow. So their approach too will be different. With someone who doesn't really want to, who easily doesn't take feedbacks, it takes longer for the person to understand the importance of what you are putting across. So once the person understands and knows what is in for him or her, the person is able to be more assertive and then work towards whatever feedback you takes the feedback positive and not a negative, saying that my boss doesn't really like me. My boss has a grudge with me. That's why he's saying this. But takes it positively because at the end of the day, if it succeeds, it goes into his pockets. The business grows. And then if the business is growing, everybody will see the returns and everybody will be happy. So that is the different scenarios I'll put on feedbacks. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. And I can see a lot of questions coming in, but please note that there'll be time for that. I'll read all the questions, that's if time permits. And then those that we cannot, we would continue on our channel, for which I would announce in due course. But Gifty, how can organizations motivate employees to take ownership of results? After all the feedback and everything, how do you then, motivate these employees to take ownership of results that come?
Okay, so that sometimes, when you provide autonomy and ownership to employees, they own the project and then they initiate a lot of things that you would not even have thought of. So there's a project you hand over to someone, whatever they need, you leave it for them. You are not intervening, you are not going in, just leave it, because probably as part of your values, you have innovation as part. You leave autonomy to them and leave them to, come up with some initiatives. You'll be surprised with what they will do. These are some of the motivation, because it's like they are owning the project themselves. And if it's a set, everybody who, if something is given to you, you try to make the best out of it. So it's like, oh, this project, this person is handling. Oh, really? You did a good job. Well done. Yes, we are proud of it. You have owned the project yourself, and you have autonomy to do that. That's one of the ways we motivate people to take ownership. The other thing has to do with recognizing and rewarding achievement. This is so important. As human beings, when we do something, motivation, we want to be recognized. I always say it's not all about monetary recognition. Sometimes you just call a verb, call the person, and then say, this person did outstanding during this performance review, or this quarter, this person did well. You just clap. Sometimes it's just a thank you note that you write and leave on the desk of the person. Sometimes it's just a pat at the back. Just mention going for probably a management meeting and saying that, inviting the person over and say, this person did so well, can we just clap for the person? It is enough. You have recognized and you have rewarded. The money bits can come, something small can come, but then these are how we as employees, we want to be motivated. Also, I would say that motivation comes in when you encourage accountability and transparency. Encourage employees to take accountability for their work. Own whatever you are doing. Be ready to account for whatever you are doing. That is enough motivation for employees as well.
Okay, thank you. But I want to ask this personal question. When you recognize these employees in front of everyone, does it have any negative impact on those who are not performing? Or you think rather it motivates them rather to work harder?
I think it rather motivates, because it rather motivates. There are some companies that you even go, they have best employee of the month or employee of the week. It is posted. Everybody wants to. It is just framed. Everybody wants to. It shouldn't trigger anything, but it should motivate you to also do your best, because in that, whoever comes and look at, oh, this face is from me. Oh, you're doing very well. I want my face to be there as well. It's enough motivation. So we are all striving towards that goal. Yes.
Okay. All right. Before I go on with the next set of questions, I'd like to announce once again that we are streaming live on our YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn channels. So please, you can ask your questions via any of these platforms, and we'll do our best to answer many of these for you. And then if David is ready, we would like you to also follow us on our channel. That's the MJ channel. David, is it ready to show a QR code for our people to follow us? Okay, whilst David gets ready, let's get into the culture of continuous learning at the workplace. So as I quote again, according to LinkedIn Workplace Learning Report 2024, 94% of employees say they would stay longer at a company that invest in their learning. What do you think is the role, or what role does leadership play in promoting a learning culture in the organization?
Okay, so so leadership plays a key role in promoting a learning culture here by providing resources and support. Here, I'm talking about providing resources like training budgets or learning platforms. Sometimes when you send budgets, the HR sends training budgets to the business. You see, it is huge. This is an investment, okay? It's an investment we are giving to our people. So leadership, as leaders, we should be able to, one of the ways we promote learning culture is by providing resources and support. Once we're able to bring a budget to you, you're able to approve it and make sure that training is done. It is enough to show that you, leadership, love to promote a learning culture. Also, modeling learning behaviors. Leaders should model the behaviors they want to see in employees. So what are the models you want to see in our employees? That is what we have to model employees to take through. We also, leadership plays a key role in promoting a learning culture by encouraging experimentation and innovation, I said earlier. Encourage employees to try new things and learn from failures. So we encourage employees to be innovative enough. And yes, if they fail, don't smash them that much, but then be encouraging. And then that's why I said, once you're assessing, you set a goal and all that, you provide feedback, you come in, you sit and let the person know where he or she is going. So you just allow people to experiment and be innovative. That shows that you, as leaders, you're encouraging a learning culture.
Does it involve, I don't know if you mentioned it, but does it involve you, the organization, helping, the employees to probably get trained outside the office, get trained at places such as MGA and all that? Does it involve that?
It involves training is training. Okay, so the resources, because when the training budget comes, you have factored in all these, where the training will be held, whether it's with a consultancy, is an in-person and an online, whether it's an outside training or in-town training. You have factored everything in the training budget. So I just included everything in the training budget, making it easier. So once you are able to even accept the training budget, you're encouraging training, but you're encouraging the training budget, you're supporting the training budget. It means it is enough. It means that leaders, you are playing a critical role in the learning culture. So it involves MGA coming in to consult, to train employees.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. But the main reason I asked this question was sometimes I hear that leaders find it difficult to push their employees to learn because of the churn rate. Because this is the case, you want to invest in people and then in no time, they are just out. So leaders, somehow, I don't know if it's true, try hard or find it difficult to allow most of their employees to go out to be trained. Because once they do that, in no time they leave them. Is it true?
If you train,
most of these organizations,
yes. If you train, they will leave. If you don't train, they will leave. But if you train, at least they are bringing a skill in, and they will transfer that skill to somebody before they leave. So just take the risks and train.
Okay.
Sometimes these budgets are so expensive. Okay, it involves a lot of investment. So it is a risk the company would have to take. It's a risk you are taking. So I would always say that for you not to let your people be obsolete, just try and train them. At least, not everybody would leave. Some will stay. And if you are training, people are leaving, then you should check there's a problem. It is not the training that is making people leave. There's a particular problem you should be able to analyze and resolve, so you don't have people leaving you after training.
Okay, thank you. And when it comes to training, the best place to be is at MGA. Why am I saying that? Usually people train, but then the impact, I always tell HRs when I meet them, I leave it to you. People come for training, and then the feedback that we get, the feedback that we're able to assemble, will tell you that MGA is the place to be. Why am I even saying that? You know, our lead consultant and facilitator is now the current president, the national president of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana. So you can imagine what he can bring to bear also on our people. So that is just by the way, MGA is a place for you to be. So Gifty, let's move on to this. Still, creating a culture of continuous learning. We're saying that how can organization embed learning into everyday work rather than treating it as an occasional activity?
Learning should be an everyday routine. It shouldn't be something that is so special, but we should be able to incorporate learning into our daily tasks or meetings. We should encourage peer-to-peer learning and encourage employees to share knowledge to support each person to share their knowledge and expertise in whatever they are doing. So let's say you have your team meetings and everything. And sometimes there's an adage that says that two heads are better than one. Peer to peer, you go for meeting, this person brings a suggestion, this person brings a suggestion on an issue. And then, oh, okay, can we do it this way? If we do, this is what will happen. There was this flaw, what caused this flaw? We all judge, we are learning. So day-to-day activities, we inculcate training, we inculcate learning into it, and then we are able to share knowledge and then expertise.
Okay. And then my last question on this is, what strategies can leaders use to encourage employees to embrace continuous learning? Do you have any strategies that you think leaders can use to, help employees to embrace this activity that we're talking about?
Yes, I think first we should be able to provide opportunities for growth and development. If we're encouraging employees, they are coming back. What are the opportunities for growth and development? People will want to go for training, and when they come back, at least there should be an opportunity for them to grow from one place to the other. So we should be able to provide those opportunities. The other thing I will talk on is recognizing and rewarding learning achievements. It is not easy to learn, honestly. So when one person does that, it's very important for you to recognize and reward employees for their learning achievements. And then we should be able to create a safe and supportive learning environment, create a space for employees to learn and experience. When whatever we have learned, we should be able to apply. If you go and learn and we come and we are not able to apply, then why should we go for training? That is enough discouragement. But when we go out for training, we come back, we are allowed to at least implement or exhibit whatever training skill we learned. It gives us the encouragement to learn. So anytime there's a training opportunity, everybody is running to go for the training. But if we come and we go for training, there's no development, there's no opportunity for growth, that we are not recognized, there's no supportive environment, then it doesn't really move us. But when these are there, at least it encourages employees to embrace continuous learning.
Okay, thank you. And once again, our guest is Regina Gifty Asare, who is the HR director for Lutin Engineering Services. David, if you are ready, if you can project our training services for us, for viewers to see what we have in store for them. So David, kindly project MGA's training services for viewers. Yes. So what you can see on the screen is our MTC, that's the MGA Training Center Strategic HR Planning, which is happening in 2 weeks. That's the 10th to 11th of March 2026. And we are encouraging all those who are on call with us. We are encouraging our HR supervisors, leads, and managers to join us. And we are looking at focus areas such as the stages of an HR plan development, HR-specific internal and external analysis, human resource action plan and strategies, HR implementation planning, monitoring and evaluation of HR plan, risk management in HR planning, among others. Now, apart from this, there's another one that will happen in the same month of March, which is the HR analytics. And for this, we are also going to focus on certain areas such as the foundations of HR analytics. Key performance metrics would include recruitment and hiring metrics, attrition and retention metrics, employee engagement metrics, employee experience metrics, performance metrics, learning and development metrics, diversity, equity and inclusion, among others. Now, this is the good news. My team is saying that we are going to give 10% discount for everyone who is on the call, who is going to give us a call after this program. Now, you can call these two numbers. Once you do, you are entitled to 10% discount off the 4,000 that we have showing on the screen. So you can call 0244 524 129 or 050 271 1070. The number is on the screen, but let me call the number again. 0244 524 129. And then 0502 711 070. Please call now and register with us for the analytics and then for the strategic HR planning, which is happening on the 10th and 11th, and then the analytics, which will happen from the 17th to the 18th. So, Regina, before you come in, there's one message or say question that is in the chat, and I want to read it out for us to look at. This is from Betha Udro. It says, if the market changes drastically tomorrow, do you believe our workforce is more likely to panic, adapt, or lead? And what factors determine that outcome? Let me read it again. If the market changes drastically tomorrow, do you believe our workforce is more likely to panic, adapt, or lead? And what factors determine that outcome? There are two of them. I don't know if you want me to take the second and then.
No, let's take.
Okay, so let me go on to the second. Or take the first one. Okay.
So I think people are adaptable, and then people can panic sometimes. But depending on you, the business, how you have been able to program your people, your employees to adjust to future, I don't think they will panic. But if it's an organization that you have not really thought of these, if trends change, how will you be able to stand in? Then it means you'll be panicking. But then if you have thought of the future and then you are an industry that is really ready to adapt to changes, you can easily zoom in. But if you are a typical traditional company that you think that tech and changes could not even come in, when it comes in, you are not really ready for that, then you'll be panicking and probably you'll just be stand still. You won't move forward. But if you're a business that you've groomed or you've trained your employees to take future tasks, you can take risks, then you should be able to adjust easily. So let's say AI is in
Wow.
now.
So Betha follows with
some
another, yeah.
Okay, so I was saying
Okay.
that AI is in now. Some
Yeah.
businesses think that AI is nonsense. Okay, it is not relevant. They are still thinking. Just like when computers came
Okay.
in, those companies are saying computers are not important. We still want to use typewriters. What are those businesses now? I'm sure they've all moved. Yes, they have those, but they've now moved to
Nowhere to be
using the
found, yeah.
Exactly. Same way AI has come. There are some businesses that are not accepting. They are like, what is this? What is this? But people who are so adaptable are moving with it. So by the time you would adjust and think, oh, it's a good thing, then people have run and your business will just be marking time when people have run ahead. So depending on whichever business, if you have a futuristic company, you are able to adapt easily and change. But if you are not and you are just a typical traditional company, then you'll be panicky because everybody is moving and then you are not moving.
Okay. Before I bring Betha's second question, I would like to ask viewers to, start asking your questions because we are running with time. And once your questions come, we'll try our best to read them. Now, Betha's second question says, should we build a workforce for stability or for volatility, and why?
We should build workforce. We should build workforce for both. You just don't need adaptability and only volatility, but you need to build a workforce that can stand, that can adjust, that can stand the times, and then that can adjust easily. So both is very important in building workforce.
Thank you. Betha, I hope your questions have been answered and answered very well. Now, Jana, let's look at leadership.
Okay.
Leadership and organizational culture. So how does leadership behavior influence employee performance and organizational resilience? How does a leader's behavior, affect performance of employees?
Okay. The leadership behavior, it sets the tone for culture and values, because your behavior. Leaders sets the tone for the organization culture and values. We are looking up to you. You are the one who are setting the culture of the business to us, the tone, the values. So everybody is looking at you. So however you behave, it sets the tone for individuals, for the organization, for performance, employee performance as well. Leadership behavior influences employee performance and organizational resilience by encouraging innovation and risk-taking. Leaders should encourage innovation and risk-taking. We should be able to encourage people to take risk, be innovative enough. And then leadership should be able to building trust and engagement. Leaders should build trust and engagement with employees. I always say that communication is very key. As leaders, you should be transparent enough and communicate very well. This builds employee trust with you. If you're not able to communicate, everything is in your head. It's not the best as leaders. We should be able to be open, have an open mind, be transparent, and communicate with employees very, very well. It is very important. If the trust is not there, then people will just be there, employee will be there, nothing influences them. Nothing influences them. So leadership behavior influences employee performance and organizational resilience by building trust and engagement, encouraging innovation and risk-taking, and then setting a tone for culture and values.
Okay, so this is for me. If you talk about transparency, to what extent everything the company does when it comes to funds movement, when it comes to what we have in our coffers, everything, is that what we are talking about? Do we have to necessarily lay that out to employees?
Okay. So employees should know everything so that in bad times they can support you. Some companies even have their, let's say, quarterly meetings, and then they make them know their financials. If employees are able to understand these things, they're able to empathize with the business when things are not going on well. If you don't communicate, if you don't show them figures, it's like you're hiding information from them. So why are you waiting till last minute when the business is suffering before you are telling us? Why are you coming now to tell us? Communicate. You know, when we communicate and we are so open to employees, they trust us and they believe. They know we respect them. But if that thing is not there, it's like this people don't respect us. The company doesn't respect us. It takes us for granted. So we are there. But when it comes to us, we will show them Pepe. You understand. So just be transparent and communicate.
Yeah.
In good times, communicate. In bad times, communicate. Be open. You might not be so detailed with figures, but what needs to come to the public, make it known to the public, let them understand.
Okay. We are really learning a lot this afternoon. What leadership styles are most effective in managing change and uncertainty? What are the leadership styles that you can think about? What do you think would help in this regard?
Okay, the first leadership style I'll think of is a transformational leadership. This is where you inspire and motivate employees to drive change. So as a transformational leader, you are inspiring people, you are motivating them to drive the change where you want to. So that is the one leadership style I'll talk about. The other one will be the servant leadership. The servant leadership is the type who supports and enable employees to succeed. So you are supporting your employees to succeed, and then you are supporting them. Once you support them, you're enabling them to succeed. You know, I say that if your team achieves the target for you, it is to your own advantage. It is to your own advantage. My first boss once told me something that if you are the head and then you are, excuse me to use my words, useless, but you have a very good team who supports you and you listen to them, all the achievement that comes, it comes to you. It doesn't go to the team, because when you go to the board, it is you who has achieved something because it's your team. But when you have a smart leader and you have, excuse me, useless team members and they are not achieving, you will also not achieve. And then you'll be also known as a useless person. So as a leader, you should be able to support and enable your employees to succeed. So that is a servant's leadership I'm talking about. And then you should be an adaptive leader. Adapt to changing circumstances and live through uncertainty. If you're a leader and you are not ready to adapt to change and you are just rigid, the one thing you know that is all, you are not ready to adjust. It is not the best thing. It means that even when change is coming, you are not ready to embrace. So you should be an adaptive leader. So you'll be able to embrace change and carry the change through your leadership, your team members. So these are the 3 leadership styles I will talk about.
Okay, thank you. So let me just chip in. Those of you on YouTube, LinkedIn, we are still waiting for your questions. Regina is ready to answer most of these questions. If you have any question, even those that are not really within this, but any HR related thing, I'm sure she would give you some highlight or light, throw some light on it for you. And please, I learned some are calling now. I would encourage that you take our time to listen to what is happening. Then once we finish, we would respond to all the calls. Because if you start taking the calls now, you may miss, some important things that Regina is bringing out this afternoon. And so we encourage you to please hold on with the calls and call after the webinar. The 10% is for you. Don't worry, you still have it. So Yes. You still have the 10%. We said it here and would abide by that. So, Regina, my next question: how can leaders build trust and engagement with their teams? So, when it comes to this, like you said, it's not for just HR people, but every leader. How do you build trust and engagement within your teams? Yes.
Okay. I would say that leaders can build trust and engagement by being transparent and authentic. Be open and honest with employees. If it is red, say it's red. If it's green, say it's green. Don't go maneuvering. Just be open and honest. Employees prefer that. This is how you build trust with people. Don't say this to them and then go back and say something else to leadership. Just be honest. Let your yes be your yes, your nay be your nay. Again, you should communicate effectively. I said you should communicate more often and regularly, and your communication should be clear enough. Let everybody be able to understand what you are talking about. Be clear. Don't wait till there's an issue before you come up to communicate. Let communication be something that is an ongoing process. This will build trust and engagement with employees. And then show empathy and care as a leader. Always show empathy and care. Show employees that you care about their well-being. There are some leaders, honestly, even when you are stranded, you wouldn't want to go to them because they won't show you empathy. But as leaders, we are evolving. People's mental health is important. People's health, well-being, it's so important. Once we know you show empathy, we are open and we are able to come to you. So as leaders, let us try to show empathy and care. This brings trust, it builds trust and engagement with our teams. So empathy is very important. Empathy is very important. So communicate effectively, show empathy and care, and then be transparent and authentic.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have always had that issue with HR managers. Sometimes you might think they're not empathetic because you want them to, put themselves in your shoes. But then before you say Jack, this is where they now go bring the HR manual and start using it against you. The person probably woke up in the morning very sick, could not call, could not, just send a message. And before you know, the HR person is issuing a query and all that. So sometimes for some time, had been in that position. I've also had, employees who had come to me talking about that most HR people are too, what's the right word? They are too hard,
rigid.
For lack of a better word. They are not empathetic. Yes. And I don't know if that is another way of trying to make sure people don't take advantage of that and they just do their own thing. But many a time it is said that HR practitioners are too rigid. They are not empathetic. So where lies the difference?
So I would say that HRs are empathetic, not even HRs, managers. It is
Managers, okay.
part of us to be empathetic. Sometimes as HRs, you know that when you become too empathetic, people try to take advantage. Okay, rules are rules. When you break rules, we can't spare you. You would have to face whatever the procedure is. So you are persistently coming to work late without permission. You've been given verbal warning several times and it's not helping. The next thing for you is for us to write you a query just to understand why. Query is nothing. It's just for us to understand why you are persistently coming late so that if there's anything we need to do to support you, we will do. This doesn't make us rigid. It is just procedure we are following. Okay. And then it's up to you to explain why you are coming to work late. If it's something that you need help or support from the business, then we come in to think of it and support you. But if it's something that is persistent, your boss is even not aware, definitely will be rigid. We'll go with the rules. HRs go with the rules. We are the custodians of the rules or of the law. So we need to abide by it. So HRs, I won't say we are not empathetic. We are very empathetic. But sometimes we have to be strict so that employees don't flout rules and regulations. So please, Claros, take it from your mind. We are very empathetic, but rules are rules. Don't break rules.
Oh, okay. So this is in the same line. How are you
Okay.
able to, how do you, for lack of a better word, try to take yourself off, especially when you have your friends, you are the HR manager or your leader, your friends, just break the rules. How do you, today you are sitting with them and having lunch, and then after lunch you're able to, just pick your note and then send queries to this. How are you as a leader? How are you able to do that? Is it something, a quality that you should possess?
It's not
Or
a
you
quality
should
that you should.
try hard not to be too close?
You see, I was saying earlier that rules are rules, policies are policies. Okay. I've had to terminate someone or ended his contract actually. We didn't renew his contract. We eat together, we're eating and all that. At the end of the day, I didn't tell him anything because as part of ethics, you are supposed to be confidential. Okay. It doesn't make me a bad person. When we step out, our friendship continues. When we are in, work has to go on. And don't forget, HR2 is an employee. We are not the employer, we are an employee. So what happens to whatever we are doing, we are also working for the business. So it's not something that we can burn bridges and say, because you're my friend, this rule, I would flout it because you're my friend. No, we can't do that. If I need to whip you, I will whip you. When we go out, I would explain to you, you're my friend, but I needed to whip you. So I have done that. It is our work. We can't do away with it. We can't do away with it for us.
And I realize of these also bring a lot of enemies to you when you do that.
Oh, yes. People will threaten you. People will talk a lot. But for me as an HR person, there's one thing I have in mind, that even if you cut your hair, put on a golden plate, still people will not appreciate your efforts. So do your best and leave the rest. That is all. Because you have people call you, threaten you, and all that. HR is not for the faint, honestly. If you are weak, honestly, you can't be, because
That's the quality I
especially
wanted to hear.
yes, especially if you work in a setting where you have male-dominated people, as a manufacturing company, you have over 1,000 employees. In fact, and if you are weak, you can't survive. So HR is not for the weak, honestly. It's not for the weak. Because a lot goes on. You'll be challenged, you'll be threatened. I've had my first business company, I think somebody called to threaten me because he had misbehaved and he was dismissed. He called and threatened me that he knows where I passed to the office, so he's going to meet me. Anything that I'm just happening to me, you get it. So HR is not for the faint, honestly. If you are weak, this is not the place for you. But if you are fortunate and you find yourself in a more classier environment, it is softer for you as an HR person. But if it is in the manufacturing rigid style, unfortunately, you have to be tough. Empathetic, but be tough.
Yeah.
Be tough. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. There's this question from Emmanuel O'Day, and it's quite an interesting one. He says, please, how do I blend workforce of 40% Gen Zs and 60% millennials to optimize productivity today and survive tomorrow? So he's looking at having 40% of Gen Zs and 60% of millennials. Millennials, I think, from 1981 up. Yes. How do you blend to have productivity optimized? and then surviving tomorrow.
So you know the Gen Zs are more tech savvy. They are more sophisticated, and they are more like I don't care, easygoing people. Unlike the millennials who are not the easygoing people and all that. You should be able to match these two. So if a department, you should be able to let people understand the Gen Zs. These Gen Zs too, I'm sure their parents are some of the millennials. So they know how their parents behave. But then in the work field, whatever rules there are, let them stick to it. Rules are rules. You don't have to solve whether you are a Gen Z or a millennial. Try and blend them. Try, and then if you are all growing, you don't say the millennials are not ready to adjust to the change, but the Gen Zs are. No, let everybody come. It is a business. It is not a Gen Z business, nor a millennial business. It is a company, and all of us are part of the company. So we can't do away with one part and say, no, if there's change coming, it's coming for everybody, whether you're a Gen Z or you're a millennial, it is coming. So we should blend. If there's training, let everybody go for the training. Don't say, oh, the Gen Zs are able to, maneuver with machines and tech service. So let me push them. No, let them blend and learn. There are lots of things that the Gen Zs can learn from the millennials. So are some of the things that the millennials can also learn from the Gen Z. Above all, there's respect. Let there be respect in the working environment. But then, whatever training, whatever adjustments, whatever changes coming, let everybody embrace the change. Let them understand what is in there for them, whether you're a Gen Z or you're a millennial, and make sure that they all adapt to that change. So communicate.
Okay, thank you.
Communicate.
Thank you. Yeah, Emmanuel, I hope you've had your question answered. Before we go to our last batch of questions, we have roughly about 18 minutes to end this webinar. David, if you are there, I was told some people didn't get the upcoming trainings, and so I would like you to project them again. That is a strategic HR planning training that is happening from the 10th to the 11th of March 2026. The price is $4,000 per participant for 2 days at the Crystal Palm Hotel at Tesano. However, if you're on this call and you register or you call us after the webinar, you are entitled to 10% discount. And when we say that, we mean that this is MGA. And then we also have the HR Analytics, which is happening on the 17th and 18th of March. Also 4,000 at the same venue, Crystal Palm Hotel. And the time is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day for the 2 days. And so we are encouraging all those here. Please reach out to your various HR colleagues and also tell them about this. You let them give me a call. Once I receive the call, I'll give them the 10%. And so please take note and let's get registration incoming. Okay, thank you very, very much. Let me, Regina, let's take the last batch of questions when it comes to integrating technology with human capability. Yes. So the very first question here says, how can organizations balance automation with creativity, innovation, and critical thinking? How can organizations balance automation with creativity, innovation, and critical thinking?
Okay, so I would say that you should use automation to free up time for high-value tasks. There are some tasks, sorry, so you have to automate routine tasks to free up time for more strategic work. So if there are some tasks that you think you can free up with automation, go ahead and do it. And then really concentrate your time and effort on the strategic work. So if you have a software that can make life easier for you, concentrate on the software, let it make those work for you, and concentrate on something else that needs your innovation into having the strategic work being done. I would say you should also encourage creativity and innovation. Here, you encourage employees to think creatively and innovate. Leave them. Employees have a lot of ideas. I tell you, sometimes there'll be some challenge you think you have at that end, and you can't resolve it. An employee will come and say, oh, boss, let's do it this way, let's do it this way. And it will shock you that it will work. We've had people in the manufacturing, like the engineers, where it gets to a place that they are stuck. You have to order probably a part from outside, and the part is going to take like 2 months before it comes. You can't air freight it. It will take like 2 months before it comes. Does it mean production is going to halt? No. You see people coming up with ways of adjusting to make sure they'll be able to get the work being done. Meaning you have given them autonomy to be able to be creative enough to perform whatever they are supposed to. Also develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Develop skills that complement automation. So people should know that automation has come to help whatever we need to do. We don't we need to automate certain things. We just go ahead and automate. Their routine tasks, sometimes there's no point doing that. Their manufacturing process, sometimes we need to automate. So we think critically, and then we solve that problem, and we are able to automate to complement whatever tasks we have. Cyrus, you're muted.
Yes, sorry. So I'm saying that it's getting interesting now that we are even getting to the end of this webinar. But there's this other question that comes. What role does HR play in helping employees adapt to new technologies?
So HRs, we have a lot to play. So as part of new technologies coming in, we are supposed to provide training and development programs. We as HRs are supposed to offer training and development programs to support the new technology. So if it's software that is coming, how are we going to adjust or adapt to the software? How are we going to use it? HR should be able to provide training and development for us to be able to support the new technology. We should be able to communicate changes and benefits. Communicate changes and benefits to employees. It's very, very important. We are going for training. What is the benefit that will come for the training? And the new technology that is coming. What is the benefits to the business and to us as individuals? You have to communicate to them. Also, once you have done all this and the technology is in place, encourage feedback and concerns. What are the feedback? What are the thoughts of people? What are the concerns? Be able to encourage employees to share feedback and concerns. Don't think because the technology has come after training, that is it. But ask people, let them give you their feedback on whatever technology, whether it's helpful, whether it's not helpful, whatever challenge they are facing. Encourage feedback as well. So these are key roles that HRs will have to play when new technologies come into the system.
Okay, thank you. I would, because of time, I would come in my last question, and then I'll hand over to Alberta to wrap things up, because we promised to finish at 4:30, and the time is almost due. So, Regina, this will be the last question from me. How can organizations ensure technology improves productivity rather than create disruption? How can organizations ensure technology improves productivity rather than create disruption?
Okay, so you can do this by implementing technology strategically. So implement technology with a clear plan and goals. I know before we bring technology to improve the system, we'll have sat down to do our planning and everything. So make sure that whatever plan we put in place, we know that this is the technology, this is what it's coming to resolve, this would be the challenge, this would be the benefits, this would be whatever hitches we can have. So have a clear plan and goals on the implementation of the technology. Then you have to be able to monitor and evaluate the impact. Yes, we have brought a new technology in the system. What is the impact? We should be able to monitor and evaluate the impact of the technology on productivity. So we bring a software in the system that probably should help us to automate manufacturing companies. So to help us to probably do like 10,000 tons of a product. Okay. It's a new technology. Now we have implemented it. What do we have to do? We have to monitor and see if whatever technology we brought in is helping us get the 1,000. Is it making us get 600, 500, 400, 800? If we are able to evaluate, then we know where there are hitches, and then we can be able to resolve that. So we should be able to monitor and evaluate the impact of the new technology we have brought with productivity. Then we have to address employee concerns and feedback. I always say that once the technology is in place, feedback is very important. Concerns is very important. Yes, we might not be the first-hand people using it. So those who are using it directly, we should be able to take feedback from them and address their concern as well. This is something. Yes, I think that is all I would say.
Thank you so much. Knowledge is good. I thought I knew a lot of things, but I've learned a lot from this webinar. And Regina Gifty, Asari, want to say thank you so much. Yes, I mentioned your full name. Yes. So I would hand over at this very time to our moderator, Alberta, to round us up. Alberta, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Clara and Gifty team. Thank you so much. That's such an insightful conversation. Just as I say, the police is your friend. Today, we also say the HR is your friend. Yes.
Yes, the HR is your friend.
Yeah, the HR is your friend. So no confusion with HR and the team members. Then we are surely prepared for whatever comes in the future. Some of the things that was said here is that we need to set clear and measurable goals. We need to review regularly. We need to track performance and provide feedback as well. So if you're an HR person, you're an HR leader here, you will get more of these when you attend our HR trainings. That's our MTC Strategic HR Planning and MTC HR Analytics. Don't miss this opportunity to improve your workforce, to improve your workforce planning, and also analyzing with data. That is the way to go now. So if you are here, seize this opportunity to build on your workforce. At this point, I would like to say a very big thank you to everyone who joined us today. Most of you have been joining us every month, and we appreciate it so much. Your questions keep coming as well. Someone like Bertha or Drew. Bertha, thank you so much. And then we love to see you always. So our conversation on building workforce that can deliver today and survive tomorrow reminds us that this sustainable success requires intentional workforce planning. So we need to be intentional about what we do here in MJ. You know what intentional means. So if you're out there, you need to be intentional about your workforce planning, your leadership development, adaptability, and then continuous learning, as we've heard from Regina already. There's one thing I want all of us to know, that if you are here today, you have your certificate of participation. So keep checking your mails. Right after this, we will be sending your certificate of participation. And this is a valuable addition to your profession profile. So kindly keep an eye on your email and update your CV accordingly. You can share your certificate on LinkedIn now. Yes, that's a professional platform that you can share your certificate on, and then let people know that you were on MJ Dialogue series and you have gained such knowledge. At this point, we would end here, and I'll still encourage most of you to follow us on our platforms. David, if you are there, you can project our QR code for our WhatsApp channel. And then if you follow us, you will get the opportunity to see our job ads, especially mostly, you know, HR. We are into HR planning, so we do lots of recruitment. Currently, we have lots of recruitment ongoing. We have some in the insurance sector. We are looking for drivers and all that. So if you're here, you scan the QR code, then you become part of the MGA family, and every detail, every insight that we share, you'll be the first to get it. So we are giving you this opportunity. The QR code is still on your screens. You pick your phone and you scan, and then you will be part of the MGA family. I still want to remind you that our strategic HR planning is happening on the 10th to 11th March. And then our strategic HR analysis, HR analytics, MTC HR analytics is also happening from 17th to 18th March. The number to call is 0244 524129. 0244 524129. Or you can call 050 2711 The number again is 050 2711 Thank you all for joining us, and we hope to come your way next month. Next month, we are coming your way with another insightful topic, and the topic is using people data to drive better organization decisions. Using people data to drive better organization decisions. So don't miss the next session next month. Thank you all for joining us, and have a good day.